Take as many pictures as you want. You got to walk in single file on the street because people on the streets have priorities over tour groups. Be careful on the sidewalks. They're uneven. Sidewalks are crap. Bricks are missing. I don't want any accidents. Anybody notice anything unusual?
Chess pieces.
They all love the game of chess.
That's right.
So his tombstone is the king. Wife is the queen.
I said chess
Daughter
pieces
who died
and I
at
thought
the age of
that's
18
stupid.
is the rook. This particular building goes back to 1838. Had a history of fires here in Charleston. The 1886 7.3 magnitude earthquake did more damage to brick buildings than it did to wooden buildings. Because of the earthquake, the steeple was 5 degrees off center. They weren't able to straighten it up. So we are standing outside the tombstone of South Carolina's most famous or infamous, depending on your perspective, statesman, John Caldwell Calhoun. John C. Calhoun was a South Carolina legislator, United States Congressman, United States Senator, Secretary of State, Secretary of War, Vice President under 2 presidents, including Andrew Jackson, with whom we didn't get along, so he resigned the position. Is that 40% of all the slaves who came to this country came through Charleston first. The first 10 days they were quarantined on Sullivan's Island, brought into the city and auctioned off. Those auctions were primarily held inside and outside the Exchange and Provost Dungeon building that you'll be seeing. That was outlawed in 1856 due to traffic concerns. So a slave mart was built, which lasted until 1864 when the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution made slavery illegal.
A cross.
Out there?
Right there. See in front of the ship?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that.
This building is now 3 condominiums, which had a profound impact on another house that we'll be talking about. The couple who built this house couldn't agree on the porches. She insisted on that kind, he insisted on that kind. So they have both. Now the middle condominium was recently on the market. 4,600 square feet. 3 times the size of my house.
Wow. Yeah.
And they were asking $3.2 million. The house next to it is on the market for $6.995 million.
Wow.
Now, it's the house across the street, the Edmonton Alston house. Now, in December of 1861, during the Civil War, a fire was raging across the city. A man staying at the Mills House Hotel on Meeting Street worked with staff by wetting towels, hanging them out the window, keeping the place from burning. The place did get some smoke damage, so for the remainder of his stay, he was moved to the Edmonton Alston house. Alston was a governor at the time. And that gentleman's name was General Robert E. Lee. Bought in 2014 by a very rich gentleman named Richard Jenrette, who was in the process of turning it into a house museum. He died in April at the age of 89, but they're going to turn it into a house museum anyway. He was the largest collector of Duncan Fife furniture. That house is loaded with Duncan Fife furniture. The American Revolution was George Washington's cousin, so that house goes back to 1756. Anybody know what this structure is?
Gazebo.
It's a bandstand donated by a very wealthy gentleman named George Williams. He's responsible for 3 houses. One of them is the White House across the street, the 2 Meeting Street Inn, known as the Wedding Cake House. Right before his daughter got married in 1898, put $75,000 on a little satin pillow next to her pillow at night. She used that to create one of the finest Victorian mansions in the city today. Well worth a few million. It's also known as the Wedding Cake House. As you walk by the tail end of it, the paint looks like frosting on a wedding cake. Patrick O'Donnell was a very wealthy man, came over from Ireland, met a young woman. They started dating. This became a very serious relationship. He proposed to her and she accepted. He said, in honor of our engagement, I'm going to build you this house. However, it took him 18 years. She lost her patience. She walked away. So, welcome to the Miles Bruden House, subtitled The Bruden Mart Pringle House. Miles Bruden was a very wealthy man, came down here, built one of the finest Georgian mansions in the country today. Took his family on vacation. They hopped on a ship to go to Philadelphia, never to be seen or heard from again. The ship sank. So he left the house in a plantation further inland to his sister, Rebecca Mart. Rebecca had 3 teenage daughters. This house was headquartered by Henry Clinton, the general of the British troops during the American Revolution. In the balcony, there's a bench. That bench is known as a joggling board. The only place it's made is here in Charleston. It was designed by a woman who had severe rheumatoid arthritis. She found that sitting on it, bouncing, eased the pain in her back. It stretched out her lower back muscles. It also served as a mating tool. A man would sit on one side, a woman would sit on the other, rock gently back and forth, and meet in the middle. And I'll show you how it works. A man would sit on one side, a woman would sit on the other, rock gently back and forth, and meet in the middle. Now, we're at the Scots First Presbyterian Church. They started the congregation in 1731. First place they prayed was the Circular Congregational Church, where we started our tour. This building goes back to 1814.